June 4th, 2025, this is DC Action News, reporting bravely and boldly every Wednesday as the news breaks from the center of the multiverse. I'm Alex Jaffe. Our top story. As the top stringers of the Justice League continue to return from their scattering across time, we've received word that Captain Atom has been retrieved from the Legion of Doom in their mobile headquarters by the Atom, Dr. Ryan Choi. Captain Atom is recuperating in the Justice League Watchtower, where the League has declared him and his previously reported new abilities to grant superpowers to others off limits to the US government and the rest of the world. U.S. Military General Wade Eiling has been called before the UN Security Council to answer for misuse of military resources to obtain Captain Atom, including the deployment of supervillain Major Force. The Justice League is using Captain Atom to restore powers for anyone who lost them after the Absolute Power event, but no more than that. The existence of a metahuman who can give anyone superpowers seems like a sort of tricky thing to put back in the bag, but we suppose there's no safer place for him than the satellite that's been broken into by supervillains 5 times in the past 2 months. In Gotham, Poison Ivy, alleged leader of the eco-terrorism cult the Order of the Green Knight, was briefly brought into police custody after a tense standoff outside of the abandoned Marshview community near Slaughter Swamp. All but confirming their connection, the Order arrived in full force to free their alleged leader. Eyewitnesses identified 2 members of the Order as a man with an orchid flower for a head and escaped Arkham Asylum patient Waylon Jones, better known as Killer Croc. The police failed to keep Poison Ivy in custody following the Order's attack, but held on to Jones in the aftermath for further questioning. In cybersecurity, you may want to make sure this week to keep your firewalls up, your virus protection software updated, and your VPN active. Cybersecurity experts on the dark web have been sharing evidence of the loss of a long-rumored Oracle network placed by an unknown source to protect the public from viruses, spyware, and other threats to privacy and digital identity. The cause of this blackout remains unknown, but DC Action News cybersecurity correspondent Wendy Harris projects these occasional outages tend to coincide with attacks on what may be the mysterious Oracle's server rooms. We asked Harris what we could do to be safe until the servers were back online, to which she responded, "Brick your devices and stay off the grid." We go now to Absolute Alex Jaffe for the latest on Earth Alpha. Lazarus Corporation CEO Ra's al Ghul has survived another assassination attempt by the high-tech vigilante terrorist group calling themselves the Omega Men. Peacemakers tracked the rogue Superman, a suspected Omega Men ally, to the town of Smallville, Kansas. In an altercation with the Peacemakers, the Superman initiated a heretofore unseen tornado mode, encasing himself in a hellish armor to attack the Peacemaker Corps with overwhelming force and blinding speed. Now confirmed to be working with the Omega Men and rogue Lazarus agent Lois Lane, Superman was taken from the scene by Omega's Agent Alpha. Lane was captured before she could escape with her new allies and is in custody for questioning. That's kind of similar to what's happening in your Gotham City with that whole Poison Ivy situation. Anyway, we go now to Evergreen, Nevada, where Absolute Action News redacts all prior reports about any alleged supernatural phenomena in the town of Evergreen. The arrival of a Green Lantern from space, the alien figure who confronted the police, and the energy dome surrounding the city were all just a hoax. You will in fact find that there is no town of Evergreen. There never has been a town of Evergreen. We apologize for our lack of journalistic rigor in this matter. As there is no further news, we go back to you. Thank you, Absolute Alex. In further multiverse-related news, we're receiving reports of a second intersection between our local reality cluster and the giant monster world of Godzilla and King Kong. We go now to our correspondent Jaffzilla with a report live from Skull Island. Right you are, Jaffzilla. Finally, it's Pride Month on Prime Earth. This week's special correspondent Alison Mechdel brings us a report on the best ways to celebrate in your area.
Thank you, Alex. As a cyborg and a lesbian, there's nothing I look forward to more than Pride season in the DC universe, and this year is no exception. We're starting out June with a bang as Metropolis hosts World Pride. The Pride Festival, known throughout the multiverse as a giant party, has become even gianter, with tents and pavilions from queer organizations all over the world. From Atlantis' Pussy Diver wetsuits to Zenith City's Dial H for Homo buttons, there'll be swag aplenty for those looking. And be sure not to miss the Themyscirian Pavilion, where representatives of the Amazon Nation will be arm wrestling all comers for charity. Central City's Pride Fest boasts an impressive musical lineup this year, headlined by Bananas Not Bombs, the anarchist queercore band from Gorilla City. I am informed that this improbable booking was the quick work of the Flash from Earth 11, but that is speculation, not continuity. Hub City's mayor has promised that this year's Pride Parade will consist of more than just one drag queen and a pickup truck, but I'll believe that when I see it. Blue Valley is having its first ever Pride Parade this year, surprising those who had forgotten the small town even existed. But it's here, and apparently queer. Good for Blue Valley. Opal City's Pride March is going to be led by McCall Thomas, the hero formerly known as Starman. The theme this year is honoring those queer activists from the 1970s, and great to have Tomas, who was deeply involved with the club scene of that era, as a living connection to those revolutionary men, women, and non-binary people. Coast City's festival boasts the largest pride flag in its parade, as well as a retrospective of the films of Matt Hagen from Earth 12 at the Institute of Multiversal Cinema. You're going to want to check that out. Last but certainly not least, the Pride Riot in Gotham City starts at 10 a.m. sharp. As always, vendors will be selling weaponry, but it's really better to bring your own. And if you're in Gotham for the riot, you might want to stop by the old speakeasy. You know the one, where patrons have carved wishes into the back wall going back to the 1930s. Rumor has it those wishes come true, but that seems pretty far-fetched to me. It's supposed to close its doors at the end of the month, so if you want to get your mark in, do it now. And if you're attending the riot, be sure to have your gas mask. We don't want a repeat of last year's fear toxin fiasco. For DC Action News, I'm Alison Mechdel.
And that's all the news on our Prime Earth. We'll be back next week. For DC Action News, this is Alex Jaffe, and your day has now been saved. For more on these developing stories, read Justice League The Atom Project number 6, Poison Ivy number 34, Birds of Prey number 22, Absolute Superman number 8, Absolute Green Lantern number 3, Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong 2 number 1, and DC Pride 2025. DC Action News was created by Alex Jaffe and is produced by Alex Jaffe and Esper Quinn. Additional voices by Jadzia Axelrod. This is a listener-supported broadcast. Your contributions to patreon.com/DCActionNews keep us running. If you'd like to contribute to this program as a newswriter or correspondent, you can reach us at dcactionnews@gmail.com. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of DC or Warner Brothers Discovery, nor should they be read as confirmation or denial of future DC plans. Never stop reading comics.